What's going on, good people? Oh man, we got a couple people in here. We got
Woo!
In the
B.
good words
What's
of
up,
Martin,
EB?
what's up? What's up? What? Ah,
We got Dan. We got Jeff. We got David Smith. What's going on?
Eric B, what's up, Eric? You see what Dan's saying? Yeah, they all backstage talking it up.
Mike Fisher
oh man,
home
that's where the
and
party
Tim
is at.
Molina was the first one. Tim Molina said, "I got some pizza and I'm here and I'm ready."
After the party is the after party. But in this case, it
After
was
the
before the
party is
party.
the after party.
It
CVA,
was,
what's going on, baby? CVA, the luckiest man in giveaways. You guys will be late to your own funeral. I mean,
well, that's 100 years from now, so we're not worried about it.
That's right. I seem to be a bad influence with time. I'm just saying, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Time is of the essence.
Yes.
yeah, that's
That
how I
sounds very
go.
philosophical.
You just never know.
They call me philosophical snatcher. I went on a journey and I come back very philosophical now. Yeah.
Snatcher went and disappeared.
I had to go on a mental retreat, get my mind right. Yeah. YouTube got out of balance. I came back to bring balance to the YouTube again. Had to jump out some closets. Had to hop out some back seats. I told him I was going to do it. You may not see some people for a while.
Central Valley. I was late to my funeral while I was fishing. And think about it. I want to be late to my funeral.
Yeah, please let me miss it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would miss mine if I had the choice.
I need to share this.
No, not today.
Let me
Jeremy,
share this
what's
thing.
up?
I'll be right back.
Shout out.
We got Big Bob in the house. He got that 1K.
Newest member of the 1K club. I knew that Bob to 1K. He was worried about getting it before this. I knew he hit it. Bob, big thing. There's a lot of stuff to do through YouTube to get that going. So check into that. Get the things mailed, sent in. Get the things sent in. Get that monetization and get that community tab going. This way, it'll definitely be up and running. So congratulations.
Oh yeah.
And Willie jumped up there, we all got the ball rolling a little bit, and Willie came in there and finished it off last night. Who else was doing didn't somebody else do a live?
I don't know. Yesterday I was actually dealing with the family, so when I came in this morning, I found out that he hit the 1K, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, that's what's up."
Yeah.
I seen the post that Willie had put, and it was like, I think 52 away. Then I think it might have said 26 away or something like that. Then I was like, "Oh, okay."
I think somebody else did a live like the same thing. I know Mike Turner was sharing it out. There's Jeremy Tournament Cast. What's up?
Hold on, I got wind my windows up.
I got to turn my fan on. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here.
So Jeremy going on the big fishing trip with Palmetto tomorrow.
Nice. That's going to be epic.
What time you heading out, Jeremy? There it is. Jeff is saying, so what's going on tonight? We're going to hear some more Smack Talking by Brian B. 1 ton. All right.
Smack
1
talking.
ton.
Smack talking. What?
What's up, Lance?
Yeah, me smack talk.
Jeremy.
You know, smack talking. I'm not saying I'm a whoop Chad butt and has butt in the same within 7 days. Y'all didn't hear me say that.
What the fish snatcher, Tim?
I'm just saying.
Where is Has Life? I don't know. I think he's
ducking.
He's getting ready to make sure he has what it takes.
That's right.
He's in there doing push-ups and stuff. He got to go.
Last time I seen him, he was hitting the heavy bag.
Last I talked to him, he said, "I got to call you back, bro. I'm in the gym." I said, "Yeah, get your weight up."
Down.
I told him, get his weight up.
Hope everybody got their notifications on because it's going down. It's going to be epic.
That's right. That's right. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Have you guys discussed the rules with everybody already, or?
Yeah, we did that Friday night.
Friday night.
I'm just behind. Catch the snatcher up. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it would have been perfect, Snatcher. I didn't know you were. Said you had some stuff going on, but I didn't know like exactly. So we had the official weigh in.
Hey, Bruce, hold on, come here 1 second.
I had to sign contracts. I had to be confidential.
Hey, I just want to tell you what you tell me to do. Whip that ass.
What did you say? I didn't hear. Say that again. I didn't hear that. What did you say?
Whip that ass. Y'all know what we talking about.
Has better you better get some hype man with him. It's going down over there, man. Brian's got a whole corner. He's like a real boxing right now. He's got the trainer. He's got the water guy. He's got the man with the towel. He's got everything. He's got the announcer. Oh
man, you never know.
Oh, yeah, and I'm supposed to be right down the middle. I'm supposed to be right down the middle with it. So,
but now you can't keep on Has the king of pulling out tricks.
I'm just working.
Uncle Lou in the building.
I'm just saying.
Uncle Lou.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Uh-oh.
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, my Lord.
My man that won all the
What's up?
I'm just trying to get all of this stuff under control. Next time I do one of these 5-day tournaments, I want one of you guys to come over and kick me in the shin or something.
I thought you were going to say something else. Like, you sure about that? Dan's got a pretty big foot.
I'll take it. I'm so used to my sister Betty telling me she's going to kick me. I keep telling her she won't reach any higher than my shin, so I ain't too worried about it. It's kind of a thing between her and I. So how you guys doing? Hello, everybody in chat. What's up?
We are doing great, Mark. You know how we do it back here. So having a good time.
Tomorrow's
everything that comes with it.
Tuesday's the big day, huh, Brian? You get to show them who the king is.
Yeah, you know what I gotta do, Mark. They keep trying to push me.
Are you team Brian Mark?
I'm Team Brian B. He's been a Catfish and Crappie crew member since pretty much the very beginning. I gotta support my boy because he supports me, so I'm all behind Brian. I love Has to death, but sometimes you got to pick your favorite brother or sister. You know what I mean?
Loyalty.
Wow.
He's politically correct. He said, "I love him to death, but I got to go with." In reality, what he said was, "I gotta go with. I know who's gonna win."
That too, it's going to be a battle to end all battles, and I like the way he's got them rods up behind him all nice and straight. I've been checking that out. I like the way the guy pays attention to detail. He does a great job on the 1-versus-1. He's kicking some buddies going up against Chad. He takes everything to another level.
That's right. He's stepping it up week after week after week. Brian B climbing up the ladder, doing it the right way.
Shout out to my aunt. My Auntie Mindy's in the building.
What's up, Auntie Mindy?
Did you see what Mindy put there?
Yeah.
She said, Papa Stan, my bratty nephew Brian, and the fish net.
So what's going on, everybody? Yeah, where is Has?
Has, we just telling everybody, Has is hitting the heavy bag. He's doing his push-ups. Don't forget, Has is the king of tricks. Don't sleep.
He ain't the king of nothing. He ain't won a tournament in a day in his life.
Hey,
So he
you know how
ain't the
it
king of
goes.
nothing.
You know how
I'm
it
in
goes.
abroad. I ain't at home, so I can't show you what I got. They talked about me because of the little ribbons I got for first place. But hey, whatever the sponsor send, that's what they send. But it say first place. Tell me where he got some first place stuff at.
Jeff Sparky Dunn say,
Don't
I
think
see
he the
Brian.
first place of this woman.
Jeff Dunn saying, I'd seen Brian win a tournament. I'm a little new to seeing Has, though.
Yeah.
Central Valley says Has say he can't win his giveaways. Let's go, Brian B.
Hogleg, how's it going? Great to see you. Straight to the
I
point.
think it's because you win everybody's giveaways. I think you won every giveaway there is.
Who?
Central Valley.
Central Valley wins a lot.
He just got a horse.
He was on a roll there for a while, that's for sure.
Whenever I go to the casino, I'm picking you up, Central Valley.
Did I hear correct that somebody won like 6 giveaways in Palmetto's shows this weekend?
Yes.
One person?
What is it?
Well, today there was somebody won 3 times. A couple other people won twice.
Wow.
What's up, man? Lil B in the building.
What kind of
Lil B.
did you use the hashtag picker?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Hey, my son in the building. Everybody tell Lil B what's up.
Hey, what's up, Little B? How you doing?
What's going on?
Lil B in the building.
Little B.
You better watch it, Brian. He's gonna grow up and he's gonna hand it to you. He's gonna take you out on that potato river.
I mean, you learning from the best. What I say. They're not gonna be like Papa Stan. Really, them.
Brian, I think you gotta your mic. Somebody said you're coming in a little low out there. I don't know.
Yeah, Brian's a little low.
Brian,
a little low.
Mr. Murillo says it was Sandy Creek SC. Won a ton of them.
There you go. Yes.
Really?
I believe Sandy Creek won something of mine too. Went to one of my sponsors too.
Yeah.
There may be a hack. I may have to look that up. There may be a hack.
He won on Rebecca's giveaway too.
I actually have 2 hats that were one of mine that people aren't contacting me. How long do you guys think I should do before I give them out a second time?
I'll contact you right now.
You can just go ahead and send it to me. How about that? Yeah. I'm telling you right now. Send it out.
I'm telling you that my supplier only had 17 hats, and they're all pretty much accounted for the giveaways. And a couple of people I had promised them to. I'm not selling a single one of them. I'm going to do giveaways with them. I'm in the, like I said, I keep saying I'm in the works with somebody else, but paying for 500 hats takes a little while to get. Not 500 for 100 hats. I'm looking to order. So once we get them ordered, hopefully they'll come in time. It's just it adds up, and there's there's not much room in those hats. I don't know if anybody knows. It's not like you make a ton of money, so you're doing it just pretty much for the channel.
I make like maybe $4, and I was gonna say $4 and change, but it may be more like $3 and change.
You're
and
much hoping
another
to get your money back.
I charge the click and ship price. I talked to somebody and they gave me a link to check out standard rates. But if I lose a hat that isn't insured, that pretty much takes out any profit on like 10 hats. You know what I mean? So you end up having to charge people for the click and ship. The 2-day expedited or whatever 3-day shipping, and it costs them $825 now. It's getting crazy. It's I feel bad charging for them, but there's no room to include that in there.
Well, that's why a lot of people that's why the Teespring is so popular with the creators, because it's you pick your merch, get it set up, and you really have no you set the prices pretty much set. You get a couple dollars, but you don't gotta be involved with all the.
I hear you. I'm just laughing at Michael Morello said pre-sale question mark. No, I'm not doing pre-sale. That's a good idea. But I got enough going on right now. If I got to keep track of a pre-sale, I don't know how some of you guys do it, man. That Kevin and stuff, and you guys are all over the place keeping track of all this stuff. I'm pretty much a project manager for our business, and this is getting crazy. So, I mean, it's good, but it's getting crazy. We're trying to keep up with everything.
Look who showed up in the chat. There she is. There she is. Miss Bex.
Shout out to Bex.
What's going on, Bex? I think Brian and Haz are lucky Bex ain't in on this Tuesday.
No, that's on Haz. It's me against Haz. Bex can have him after I finish with him. Bex, you can take over after I finish him. I'll leave him one arm so at least he can drag for bait.
It's the Bex in there.
Because I'm going to whoop up on him. Excuse me. Give me 1 second.
Sure. So was it one of you guys that were telling me that dragging baits on the James doesn't work? Was that you, Stan?
Nah, because we do that. We do that pretty regularly, especially in the kayaks. That's Dan and Stan 3, and you'll see that a lot. Drifting works better.
It does.
And drifting works better, and suspend drifting. But you do get some. There's some times where, dragging the baits. It depends on the current. Depends on some other things like that. But it will work. But the river James is funny because each little part is like a whole different. You got to fish each little section differently. And like up here by Richmond, it's smaller waters. Like it's narrower. It's still a decent river. Like you can't cast it across or anything.
The narrower the river, the happier I am. Yeah. I'd rather fish those choke points than anything. I look for them where I'm at. The Fox. Anytime I'm fishing live on the Fox, it looks awfully small. But there's some places where it spreads out to maybe half mile, 3/4 mile, and that's big compared to where I fish. But my thing is, if I'm trying to catch fish in transit, like a lot of times you do at night with flatheads, why not concentrate those fish into a tighter area? So that's one of my main things. That outside bends, obviously, right off of where channels and stuff come in, things like that. But definitely choke points. When I figured out the whole choke point thing, that's when I caught my very first flathead a few years back, like 5 years ago. Once I got that under control and I figured that out, that I didn't have to cast, 200 yards for a chance, where I could cast, 2 baits and have the whole channel covered, I'm good to go.
One of my favorite spots is basically the same thing like that. You got the main river comes here and it kind of loops back around. So you got there's land in between it, but it goes down this way, comes back around. Well, there's a cut point that goes right through it. It goes from here to here, so it kind of splits. So it's not the main river, but it's you can pretty much with an avid cast with his 15-foot poles, you're casting across that section.
But I don't know if the avid cast work.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like Haz is in the basement.
But we get
fish.
We get fish through that section like every time.
He needs to stay in the basement.
Sean T, what's up?
What's up?
Papa Potomac.
Papa Potomac.
You know why I let him in.
Man, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know.
Hey, so what's the chance that Chad's going to be the Potato River Masher next weekend on the 1 versus 1?
Potato River Masher.
There's a very good masher. There's a very good chance of that.
You guys are going to wear all them fish out on Tuesday. There's going to be nothing left to catch next time.
No, I'm going to wear Brian out on Tuesday. That's what's going to happen. Brian's going to have no ego left. He's going to be like a deflated balloon. He's just going to give up. He's going to curl. You know them little curly tail French fries? That's going to be Brian. He's going to curl up. That's what he's going to do.
Hey, I see Bonnie out there. Bonnie Petaloons. Great job.
Bonnie.
Awesome job getting out there, getting in the water, putting your life on the line to land them fish. Awesome job.
Hey, real
Man, I'm
quick,
gonna
I
get
see.
fish, but I ain't leaving this pizza alone.
Hey, real quick, let me just holler out to Wayne Huska. Hey, Wayne, you won one of my hats, buddy. Contact me at Mark at Catfish and Crappie and send me your shipping address. I've been looking for you all evening tonight, try and find your address. So Mark at catfishandcrappie.com. Send me your shipping address and I'll get you one of them hats. You won during Palmetto Show, bud. I want to make sure I get those out to the people that won it. So now I only got one unaccounted for. Hopefully you heard that. Thank you.
But Murillo, I see that. I seen that, Murillo. I seen that. And you throwing it. I know how you like to be.
Hold up. Yeah, the odds are 6-1. That's
the
right.
One.
I don't even know. 6-1 seems kind
The
of
6-1 is half. The 6 is half. 1 to me. I got
6-1.
I understand that. I mean, I'm just a little guy.
Hey, so what are the terms on Tuesday?
It's well, first of all, let me just start by saying I have in this box right here, I have a Catfish and Crappie hat. I'm gonna be doing an unboxing on this thing.
Oh,
Very
man,
awesome.
That don't mean nothing. That don't
I
buy
can't
you.
wait. I'm gonna wear this on Tuesday because Mark is team Brian, so I'm gonna wear this hat on Tuesday.
I'm gonna have Has representing.
Brian's going. Mark has life. By the end of it, I'm gonna wear this hat on Tuesday. Y'all hear me?
You about to switch sides, blood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
have to.
Catfish and Crappie hat on Tuesday.
Wait, is this what I'm supposed to do when this happens?
Yes, exactly. No smoke.
You got it down back. Look, Mark is officially, he's part of the clique now. He already
Part of the clique.
You know the button.
You know the button. When it gets a little hot, he does.
Michael Murillo, that's after that. That's going back to the 1v1. But yeah, we're talking about the
figure out. I'm gonna do a short show tomorrow because it's Labor Day. I got everybody coming up. We'll talk and get the date picked out. Let everybody talk a bunch of smack like you guys are doing here, and we'll take it from there. I promise not to hold everybody late tomorrow.
I didn't see her respond though. Did she respond?
Did she respond?
I mean, I'm sorry. Did Chad respond?
I don't know why Brian's skipping ahead.
Whoa, I knew I love Mark.
Well, here I might as well have one of them nasty cigarettes. So guys, I'll be here for a while.
I even gave him the link. I said anybody can come up. I thought he would come up, but maybe he's tired from the weekend.
I don't know, man. Brian hit me up, said, "Come up." I'm over here celebrating, partying right now in the Has Life household. What you want me up here for, man? You want some more smoke, man? You ain't got enough. Man, you ain't had enough yet.
Yeah, you ain't had enough.
Man,
but first of all, one thing I want to correct that show, The Fight. You want to show up there? We doing it at 4:50 p.m.
Yeah,
50.
Time change.
Don't show up at 5 because that's going to be too late. You want to get that 10 minutes.
Can I ask why you got the 10 minutes before going on? I noticed that when I set my reminder.
So the rides go in the water at 5 o'clock. The first 10 minutes is going to be a whole lot of trash talk. That's
all right. Then
no, you're going to the whole 10 minutes going to be a whole bunch of ass paddling to it.
That's right.
So Stan it's gonna do the introduction. I'm gonna do my little jelly roll dance in the kayak. I don't know what Brian's gonna do over there. I hope Brian has his phone holder. I hope he don't got to see the back of his ashy ankles. I hope he got his phone holder. I hope he don't got the Blair Witch Project and it's just doing all that the whole time. Like, I hope he got the phone holder.
See there? No smoke. And got him.
Don't worry about it.
Man, you woke me. You got me up here. What you want? What you want, Brian? What
But
did
you
you want?
say I woke you up? You was going
You
to
ain't
bed?
wake me up. I'm out here
You going to
partying. I'm out here. I got my nephews, my nieces. I got my cousins, and you want the smoke. You hit me
It's
up.
frustrating. It's frustrating, ain't it?
You hit me up. What you want?
I put that short out, and you said, "Man, this dude, man."
I ain't worried about that
I'm going
short.
to bed. You're not
That
going
short was real weak.
That
That short was weak.
tomorrow night.
He said it was
You gonna be in the bed like, you know.
205 Wild Action says whoever wins got to strut like the nature boy. Woo!
I like what No Real Loss said. You guys see that?
Huh?
Look what Beck said in there.
On fish catching. Oh Lord.
Oh.
Bex, you better call him.
Oh
You gotta
Lord.
love you. He gonna make y'all side of the river. Well,
I ain't
you
going.
fish right in the middle.
I ain't even going. I'm not even
Wow.
going to that one.
Boy, it didn't take Bex long
Crazy.
to get that confidence level up. Last week, her smack talk was, well, maybe, I might,
Bex,
we might do, I want everybody to do well. That was a smack. Now she's like, you want me to show you what you're doing? I'll show you what you're doing wrong.
Bex, all I'm gonna say is
Hands.
you still 2 pounds shorts. You still 2 pounds short. You got to get that 62. You only got a 60. You're a couple cheeseburgers short of my PB. You're a couple cheeseburgers short.
Still 8 pounds short. You still 8 pounds short over here, Bubba. Yeah.
I don't
maybe
know.
maybe we see
PB
if,
was a team effort though. Like he had
Hey, it don't
everybody
matter. It
touch
had
the
to
rod
be.
when he
Oh,
caught that.
that rod. It had to be.
maybe we see if Bex wants to come up.
It wasn't a catfishing rod that it was going on, so it was definitely a team effort.
Oh,
Get that
Lord.
70. That 60 looked way better than that little 62 you caught. I think.
Brian, first of all, your fish you didn't even catch on camera, so that's an ace
Oh,
fish.
no,
You got an ace
right.
fish
I
over
ain't
there.
even
Don't
catch
see. You have to catch it on camera first before it's official tissue.
You caught the pictures. before
Brian
you
took
did
it. Brian taking pictures of fish that he didn't even catch. He just holding it up there like, look at
Mr. Duggar Fishing says loser has to bait and net the other's fish for a live.
Hey,
I know somebody else that does that, but I'm not going to say their name.
hey, leave Ace alone. Oh, dang.
Brian got ace fish
So-
over there.
That's
I
the
need to
thing.
see you catch it. I need to see you bait the hook, cast the line out,
Hands got
catch
the
the
picture
fish,
before we
reel it in,
released it.
and
I
then
said
take
to
a
that,
picture.
Hey, it's like, hey, I told you to come over this side of the river.
So so you guys are fishing opposite sides of the river then? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he
fishing the
fish on
south
the-
side,
he
and
fish
I'm
on the-
fishing the north side.
He fished
That's
on the
what's
little
going on.
side.
This has been an ongoing thing now. Which side of the river is better? And that's kind of how the whole, Brian. That's how this had to be the first one to kind of get that settled and out the way, and then go on to some more. Do you has what it takes?
Yup.
So it's the South versus the North.
Yeah.
The biggest sweet doggy in the kayak is 42 pounds, and I'm gonna beat that on Tuesday. We're gonna
Ain't
beat
nobody
that 42
worried about
pounds. On
Ain't
Tuesday.
nobody worried about that. What are you talking about all that?
Pounds, and that was my first time out in the
He better
kayak.
watch out for them trees.
I ain't worried about nothing.
They
Ain't
come my way.
But
you
look,
get hands
Mark
up.
said it
Hey,
best.
hey,
When
you know how you
right
see
when I-
in the kayak going like, dude, we gonna turn. That's all he be doing. He gonna look like he in a 6 deuce back in the day, making them wide turns.
Ooh, a 60 will sink me in the Cadillac can hold more than the 60.
Cause
I could put it like a 130-pound fish in the Cadillac.
way them trees coming down the river, hands ain't gonna have a chance. He gonna be moving more than he can catch it.
Nah,
Oh,
Mark
so
said
no, I may be reading this wrong. But it sounds like Bex has what it takes.
I think Bex wants some smoke too next. I think that's what
It sounded that way.
sounds like. But I already got people lined up, you know what I'm saying? So everybody
How many
got
are
one
lined
line.
up?
First,
How many
I
are
got,
lined up?
first I got a baby
Mark-
boy Brian. And you remember Baby Boy when he had to take the belt out and rip all the After I gotta do the Brian, I gotta do the Baby Boy to Brian, and then I got something lined up the 25th, and then we got something again on the 2nd, and then I could fit some people in after that. But yeah, I got Baby Boy Brian first.
Mark, we had Bonnie out there. Bonnie's out there asking about Coco. Oh, you got it. I see it. I see it.
She's back there napping as usual. The fireworks wore her out today. I got a park maybe like 3 blocks from my house, a huge park, and they had a big fireworks thing and bands out there all weekend. So she's all worn out from the weekend. She ain't moving for 2 days.
Hold on.
And as far as this,
I gotta take a sip real quick.
as far as the 60 on the kayak, you watch Stand 3 and Green Machine both. They've had multiple 50-pound fish. First Iron Cat, Stand 3 had 150 pounds of fish in the kayak at one time. And you've seen Dan do it with multiple 50s too. So it will hold it.
I'm loving it. First of all, Brian catches like one big fish every like 6 months, and then he just like thinks he's the man over here.
Hold up.
I don't know why he thinks he can. I don't know why he thinks he can take down the Mr. Sweet Dog. That's all I do. How many times do you hear Sweet Dog every live stream? We say it at least 4 or 5 times. Like, come on, Brian. Like,
I don't scream.
Oh my God.
I don't scream about my fish.
You know, I wouldn't scream over either side's fish either. All you catch is either side.
Oh my goodness.
Fish over there.
Hey, come on, man.
You need a fillet knife. That's what I need to give you, Brian. I need to give you a fillet knife. That's what I'm
God, Brian.
After I whip you up, Brian, I'm gonna give you a fillet knife because all you catch is either side. That's what I'm gonna
Mark, this is just the build up for Tuesday. And they're bros. Imagine what it's going to be like for Brian B versus Chad. The rest
They
of
may
them.
not be bros after Tuesday. They may be done. It'll be the break of the century right here. This is going to happen.
Oh, it's never going to happen. You got bros are for real. This is the best thing right here about that. So this is, all jokes aside, these gentlemen are going to show how this sport is done, right? How sportsmanship really is. Yeah. How bros are supposed to behave, you know. May the best man wins.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I'm not sitting there.
There's no salt.
I'm not sitting there. Sweet dog. I said it with my chest when I got a pig.
Hold on, Brian. You don't know what happened when you caught that 40-pounder when you had your camera at your ankles? What was the last thing you did when E weighed the fish? Brian can't even weigh the fish. That's why Brian got E on the boat.
You ain't weighed the fish like this.
He was like, he was like, give me this fish, man. Let me show you how to weigh the fish. And right after he weighed the fish, Brian said, sweet doggy, right after he weighed.
I said it with a cat. Doggy.
Brian had to tap in E. He said, E, I tap you in.
So let me give a little smoke here. So I'm guessing this is going to be length, right? Because you're in the kayak, correct?
No, we're going on pounds.
Oh, you're going on pounds. Oh, I was going to make some joke about how kayak guys are too weak to pick up a big fish. They got to lay them down in their laps like a little baby.
I'm weighing. My fish are getting weighed in the kayak. We're going to weigh the fish. We're gonna weigh the fish.
I think you're getting to like this smoke game, Mark.
Pretty good at
it. Okay, so we got Tim Molina. Tim Molina is asking for how's it going, like most fish, big fish, et cetera, et cetera.
So it's biggest fish. 3 biggest fish.
So the most weight out of our 3 best fish.
Yo.
And how long?
In 6 hours.
6 hours.
I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second.
All right. So yeah, that's the reason that we're doing the 10 minutes of, because that's going to give us, that 10 minutes will give everybody a chance to get in there, so that by 5 o'clock, lines are in the water and it is on, and it's 5 to 11. So that little 10 minutes is just that warm up. You're going to see a little bit of smoke going back and forth. Get the weights out, get the introductions in. We might play a little clip or two just to get that right before. Then 5 o'clock, bam's poles in the water, and at 5 o'clock. So they got 6 hours. It's going to be the 3 biggest fish by weight. I don't think there's a rod limit.
3.
Oh, is it 3? 3 rods? Oh, because of the kayak.
Yeah, he can only use 3, so I settled for his 3.
I think 3 rods is a good thing, because anything more than that, I kind of consider it a trout line, and that's cheating.
Now I had 4 out the other day, but it was work, so I put 1 up anyway. So 3.
I tell you what, you see boats when you're in the States that has unlimited rods, or you can have like 4 rods per angler. You know what the catfish boats are, because when they're going down the river, there's like 15 to 20 rods lined up all the way around, and it's the oranges and greens. It's not your regular pole, so that you can see, exactly where the catfish boats are.
Murillo, they're normally on my side. The biggest catfish in the Potomac River been caught on my side of the river. And another fish has been caught bigger than that. I witnessed it, but the guy didn't know it. Me, honestly, didn't know it at that point. Hold on.
So,
Sweet doggy. Say that for me. I bet you Becky can say it better. Sweet doggy.
By the way, Brian, I know you were doing some training earlier. Is Unc still there?
Brian, you was training?
Go ahead and leave, man.
You was training,
All right.
I told him go ahead and roll out.
What was you doing, Brian? What was you doing, man?
You know what Unc said.
I don't know what Unc said.
You heard what Unc said. I'm not going to repeat
he wasn't there. You gotta tell him to say it again. He wasn't there.
Unc done left.
Okay.
He left. I could, but he gone.
Timalina, you know I'm always on time to my lives. Brian's the one who shows up late.
What?
Brian, you've shown up late to several tournaments now.
Yeah, and still won.
Make sure you're on time for this one, because I'm gonna be. So the tournament is from 5 o'clock until 11. I figure I'll be done by like 9. I'm gonna catch my big fish at 9. By 9 o'clock, I'll be done.
Can we put a 5-pound deduction for the person that's late?
It don't matter how you put it.
Nah, I don't want to. Brian's gonna be late. I don't want to hold him. I don't want. I'm not trying to put it more in my favor. It's already a big landslide. I'm already going
out there with fish with unlimited. So
Michael Murillo, what the fish snatcher?
What the fish snatcher is going on? A whole bunch of fun. Exactly. It's going to be epic. Make sure you guys tune in Tuesday.
David said you was 15 minutes late tonight, Brian. What's up with that?
Hey, that's how it go. It wasn't my fault. I ain't gonna say no names, but they was talking backstage.
After the party is the after party.
Before party, just like the after party.
We were trying to work on something, and then we didn't do it. We didn't even do it when it came on. So
yeah, we just had to do George Jetson.
So who won today on on the Lady Cat?
It was
today.
Because neither one of them caught fish, and it basically
they just bowed out. They just both took a go to the next round.
Go to the next round. Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Okay. Mark, the way it was supposed to be, because there was 2 days of it, they had to have a winner for each day, and then there's going to be a showdown. So it went on to the first round was won by Rebecca from Screaming Reels, Carolina Screaming Reels. She's new to our kind of community here, and Lizabella from Anglerholics. Well, Lizabella was having issues with her phone. It wasn't charging. She kept trying to get back in and come back in. Anyways, that went on, and it was pretty much a deadlock for like a couple hours. It went to like almost 8 o'clock, right? After 8 o'clock. Okay. So finally there was like Bex came up with the solution call it a tie win for yesterday, since there has to be a fish off for the grand champion anyhow. So they both won yesterday. Now in the finale, it's going to be the three of them instead of just.
When is the finale?
They
don't know,
haven't
man.
They haven't scheduled it yet. I think
Beck should
what I
just
was
win the whole
thinking-
thing. She got like 27, 28 fish.
No, it was
and
2 days anyway. So it still has
54
to
and
be.
it's
it still
56
has to
and
be-
60 pounder.
Really?
Still has to be a fish off
Man,
between
I
the
missed
two competitors because it was all of them competing. They couldn't compete all on the same day.
So did Beck say she was going to take them both on versus her, 2
Yeah.
versus 1?
She said
Nah,
she'll take
it's just
both
gonna
of
be
them.
like
No, it's
a
going to be
Not
three.
agree.
three
Like
people.
1 versus
and then the
1
winner-
versus 1, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Three people.
Yeah, but
in this
I mean,
fish off.
the way I look at it, Beck's just put on the show. She caught the most fish by far and the biggest fish
27
by far.
Yes, indeed.
It should
Jeez.
have
How
just
do
been
you
like,
win?
She got biggest fish.
there shouldn't even be no third day. It should
But-
just be Beck's wins the whole
All
thing.
jokes aside, let me ask you guys that
Depending
fish
on
that
the
Potomac
rules,
River.
she just
Why
gotta
do you
get the
think
fish.
it's such a great fishery? Somebody in my 1 versus 1 today said something that got me to think. They were saying that, granted, I've heard this too, that the Potomac is pretty polluted. So people don't take the fish to eat. Do you think that's why there's so many where you're at? Is there no
No.
pressure?
No, because
There's
I
no
can show you.
pressure.
I
I will
can
say-
send you. That's not true because I can show you pictures where I got a table full of fish.
Okay.
Out of the Potomac, and I eat them.
Uh-huh.
I think that has a part to play in it, though. I mean, I ain't saying that's the main reason, but it definitely have a part.
Well, whether or not it's true or not, if that
It
rumor
has-
gets out, people, you know how people are, they'll be like, oh, I hear they'll say that about the Fox River here, and it turns out that the Fox River back in the 70s was voted the most polluted river in the
Right,
United
yeah.
States, and now it's in the top 5 cleanest rivers in the United States.
I put it like this. I fish it. I take fish out of there. At one point, I was taking every fish that I caught, regardless of what it was. Before I became respectful to the game, I was taking 40s and putting them in the live well, and they were going home. They were getting cut up. We were eating them. But as I learned and got knowledge of it, I would, put them back.
Yep, that's good.
Well, that's the same way here, but
The Potomac River is a big polluted river, but it has gotten better because they have bettered the river and where runoffs go to.
Mm-hmm.
In 2025, their prediction is you'll be able to swim in it again.
Okay.
How it is, I'm not
You
for
can
sure.
swim in it right
Years
now.
away from that, but
I was
people
swimming
swimming
in it
in
a couple
that.
weeks ago.
Yeah, I've swum in some pretty nasty creeks in my day and stuff.
I
ain't
would
worried
say,
about
like, the Potomac River isn't like when you look at the water, like it's not some like
It's a muddy
toxic
river.
green.
Yeah, it does.
glowing-
It does. I can notice
Yeah.
it, and just because they're talking about like the
You
metals
can
in the
go in
water,
river.
stuff
Like
like
you
that.
can go swimming
Right.
in the river. You can go
Now,
playing
years
in the
ago,
river.
yes, it was
Yeah.
a nasty, dirty, polluted river with any and everything in it.
But it's not like that.
It
Like
went on.
it really
They just
isn't.
took it for what it was then, and they carry it on to keep talking about it.
The way they look at it as toxic is the like if you were to keep a fish, the
Mhm.
number of toxins that
Right.
are in, that are
The
in, like,
metals and the
fish.
chemicals and the
Yeah,
fertilizers.
that's what they
and-
look at. But when you look
Right.
at the fish, like on a regular basis, if you look at the river, you can
Well-
see the clarity level is like 6 to 8 feet on a regular basis. Like you
Gotcha.
can
Well,
see
most rivers, the clarity isn't going to be there because it's constantly moving. I don't
Yeah.
care what flow it's at.
It's a tidal water.
It's not just even tidal. Any water that there's runoff into it that's moving. If there's dams and spillways in there, that churns it up, and that just keeps it all suspended. When I was in Ohio a couple months ago, that river was you could definitely see the sediment because I was in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains fishing up there, and you can see all the minerals in the water. It almost had like this kind of hazy green tinge, not like neon or anything, but kind of muddy, but kind of hazy. You could see the sediment in the water, but it doesn't mean it was dirty. It's the chemicals that are in there and stuff like that. Obviously, if you got garbage floating down a river or whatever, but people are getting better about getting that cleaned up. And I mean, even Avid's doing his part by having that trash bag challenge. Say what you want about Avid, he's a good dude. He tries, and everybody. And so I'll keep pushing his trash bag challenge because I think it's a good thing.
Well,
Yeah, no, it is.
my opinion with the Potomac, There's a lot of breeding grounds. It's good, almost perfect conditions for blue cats. There's a lot of grounds for them to breed in. The current is just right. It's got a huge food source. It has not only. Oh, go ahead, S.
Our food source isn't like the James River food source, which y'all gizzard shad. You guys have a plentiful population of gizzard shad on the James
You might
River.
not
I
have
would say that because I fished both of them, and we've gone gill netting and cast netting for gizzard shad on the Potomac and on the James River, and it's like night and day when it comes to the gizzard shad on the James versus the gizzard shad on the Potomac River. But our population, we do have a lot of blue cats, but we don't have the size that the James River has. Like the James River has, like, you can go out and catch 50s and 60s back to back to back. On the Potomac River, you're gonna catch 30. You can catch 30 blue cats, you know, in a sitting from the bank, and there's plenty of bank spots, but we just don't have the size that the James River has. That's the one thing but that's like we share like the same kind of body of water because they're like 2 hours south of us, and we're all on the Chesapeake Bay, and we're all on the same tidal waters, but we don't have the big fish that the James River has. But I could see that changing over the next like 10 years.
We just got evidence of that yesterday with Vex getting the two, the 50 and 60. They were just, they were kind of rolling together, and
that doesn't happen in one day.
That is like so rare that's the first time I've ever seen that. Like,
that's everybody comes in.
Really?
I've had 5 flathead nights, and that never happens. I would compare that to that.
Like, because I fished, especially this year, I fished a lot on the Potomac River, and that is not normal to catch a 50 and a 60. It's not normal to catch a 50. Like, you're not going to catch 50s very often. You can catch 20s, 30s, and 40s here and there, but like to catch a 50 and then a 60 back to back like that's not.
Well, that goes like back to your point.
That's not
that 57 that I got, right? That's few and far between here. You can catch a 40 every now and then. 40s are hard enough to catch, but that was one that I got lucky. I'll be the first one to say that. You come across a fish like that every now and then. I know a guy that I fished with just recently. His name's Cliff. He fishes that river pretty hard. He's a tournament fisherman. He knows his stuff, and his best on the Fox is 54, and he's been trying to beat it for 14 years.
Yeah.
And he fishes 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
So I got lucky, thank goodness on that. But
yeah.
Well,
I tell you, it's you can, like Has said, you can catch some 20s, you can catch multiple 20s, multiple 30s, but to catch 50s and 60s,
40s and 50s.
If you catch a 56 and a 60 in one day, that is very, very rare. I've been out on the river on the boat, hit multiple spots, deep holes, heavy current and everything. You don't catch that like that on
I mean, you can always catch fish, but every now and then those stars align, man, and it's pay dirt.
But see,
it really is.
With that storm, that current, when I say that water was running, I got pictures. That current was flowing. When they were out there Thursday, I thought it would only be where the spot they was at. And I went out the next day, Friday. So that current was flowing.
Well, let me ask y'all fellas this. Let me ask y'all this. Would y'all consider what y'all doing sports fishing?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how long would you say like catfishing as sport fishing has been going on versus eating them?
Lyle's been doing tournament fishing since the early 80s.
Early 80s.
So there's always been small catfish tournaments, even prior to that in the 70s and stuff. But it didn't get, until he could make a living, which he was, besides his real business, he was making pretty good money making his catfish specific rods, which nobody was making. Everybody was using musky gear and stuff. So he's been in the game for a long time. So when that happened. Probably, I would say it got serious in the 80s.
Would you say it's grown though now?
Definitely. I would say catch and release like this, the catch, photo, release, the CPR, your average person was, they didn't consider catfish a sport fish. It was like a trash fish is what they considered it. So, yeah, they would take, it was an edible fish, and they would eat, almost all of them were catch and cook. And they were going into pot. They went to Lake Crisco. But now, the past, I'd say 5 years or so is where it really changed, where your average person, it's almost got to the point where there's more people now just doing CPR with your bigger catfish than not. So that's just.
What did you say the current was?
It was like 83,000 cubic square feet, which is like crazy ridiculous for the.
Well, what's that convert to miles an hour? Do you know?
I don't know what it converts to miles an hour.
Okay. But it was
I
like
haven't
double of what it
I know
was.
that our normal current flow is half a mile an hour or less, like probably like 0.3 to 0.5 miles an hour. I haven't been on it with it ripping like that, so I don't know what it is, but I know that is at 6 times the normal rate.
When I was down visiting Avid, it was a 4 mile an hour current. Now, the reason I knew that's because, I turned the trolling motor off and I looked at my GPS on my fish finder. It'll tell you how fast the current's flowing. I've heard stories of 8 mile an hour current on the Missouri River. That's something I want to try. I want to get out there and check it out. But you're talking like 16 to 24 ounces of lead just to suspend your baits down there.
Yeah,
that's some crazy stuff.
So
Jeff says it's only been going on for 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, probably as long as social media. It's been pushing. A lot of people would put fish back, but they would keep it longer than that. And I know the tournament guys would always want to, especially the ones with, some skin in the games that had some money to make. They would push CPR, because they wanted the sport to grow, to expand their businesses, and they had a passion for the fish in general. Everybody has their reasons. Me, I want to grow my waterway. I'm not a tournament guy. I got nothing to sell. I do YouTube because I love it. I love being part of the whole deal. If I hustle and make a few bucks, so be it. But other than that, I'm pretty much a proponent. But don't get me wrong, I'll eat a fish. I'm not going to eat a big one, but I'll eat an eater side fish.
I ain't got no problem taste for it. Tony said,
I think the current has I think that's what makes the Potomac River such a great fishery, is the fact that we have slow current across the whole river. Is moving slow. Even on the choke points that I fish, like Brian fishes a way wider section of the river. I fish choke points and it's moving at half a mile an hour. And that's what just makes it just a great fishery, is like the fish are just loaded across the whole entire river. And we don't have fast moving current.
Right. And I think that's why you'll see more bigger fish in the James, because, they like that. Your smaller fish aren't going to thrive as well in that massive current. Like when you were down here with us, that spot that we were trying to anchor up on and stuff.
Yeah,
we had like 12 ounces, and that wasn't even enough to hold. Yeah, that was 12 ounces, and it was just moving it right down the thing. We've caught multiple 60-pound fish right there in that same spot. We didn't that night, but that spot, that little stretch right there where there's that huge current, we've caught big catfish there. So
Uncle Lou, absolutely. He says you'd be surprised right there. You'd be amazed what you can learn from tourney fishing. When you're under the gun, man, you're forced to figure things out, and you're forced to figure them out fast, which means you're making so many more decisions and computations even sooner. And the more you make and the more results you get or don't get, the faster and more data you get in that fishing database called your head or your logs or any of that. And you definitely do that. Like what has taken everybody on, he's going to be forced to perform. He's going to do good, obviously, but it's going to make him a better.
Hold on, you talking about taking people out? He ain't taking
not taking people out. I'm just saying it's going to make him a better angler. The more he's out there and the more pressure he has.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't say better than who. Don't get me wrong.
He ain't won shit since he left high school. He might got rapper of the year in the catfish community. That's it.
I don't know what this guy even. Is he talking? I can't even hear right now, guys.
It's that time of year though, Phyllis. I'm seeing big fish.
Is Brian B in here?
My buddy Troy Hansen he's a whisker seeker guy. He one of their pro staff, he just posted a big fish. Him and his wife had to get in the water with this fish to take a picture. It was so big. He didn't say where he was at, and once I find out, he's going to tell me not to say, but he got a monster. You guys know Jonathan from Hook just got an 86 pounder on the Mississippi. They're starting to roll, man. They're turning on.
Becca, I don't know. The last time I went to the James River, I didn't see any fish, so I don't think.
Well,
after watching a couple hours back, I don't think
I saw smaller. And then I see Stan catching, 33 fish under like 6 pounds. So I don't think they have big fish.
No, it was 35 fish,
I'm sorry,
and only
35.
some of them. Only some of them were under. Yeah.
Hey, my Uncle Lou, I'm going tourney fishing come Tuesday.
Brian B, you got a couple tournaments coming up here this next week.
Oh yeah, I got one on. I think it's Mark's channel, Catfish and Crappie.
We're gonna try and if everybody can get done. I'd like to get this done in one weekend. We'll do the semifinals, which will be 2 1-versus-1s, and then the final one after that. If we can get that done in one weekend, that would be awesome. I just got to make sure everybody's on board and can do it. I talked to Jeremy; he said he can do it. I'm pretty sure that J Dog can pretty much do whatever as long as she doesn't have any family obligations. But we'll go from there. We'll figure that out tomorrow.
That sounds like a
You want me to whoop
perfect
up on
idea.
Tag, and then you want me to whoop up on somebody else the next day?
Or we can wait a week if you want that break.
My belt is good. It's fully 100% leather, so it ain't gonna break.
Mark, I apologize because Brian's about to take take a couple weeks off after what I do to him on Tuesday. He ain't got a choice. So this might go into November.
You might soften him up for Chad.
Yeah, I will. After I beat up on Brian, I'm gonna give him some spots. So because at the end of the day, I always root for the Potomac River, so I'm gonna have to give him some spots so he can beat Chad.
Boy, bye.
I'm pretty sure Chad was planning to be down in Alabama when he faced Brian, and that didn't work out because of that didn't work out because of hurricane. And he put some big ones on the boat this week, and they did pretty good. And I've been getting pictures a lot. So
the little dude, he got to come right on back to that little Ohio River.
Yeah, I always got to root for the Potomac River. I always got to be team.
I got a message from them today. They put 70 skipjack in the cooler tonight. 70 of them. Holy smokes.
He better use them good and freeze them good so he can use them bait next week.
I think they did. I think they said they were vacuum sealing them and stuff. I don't know how easy or how hard it is to do skipjack. I've messed with them once when I was fishing down there on the Mississippi. But other than that, we don't have them up here. I don't fish for them. I'd like to, and hopefully someday soon we'll get to do that. But my next trip, I'm going north. I'm going to go chase some toothy creatures and maybe get a last, Mississippi River flathead if they're there. But I think we're going to be chasing walleye and maybe some northern pike up there.
Yeah, one thing I will say is we don't have skipjack up here, and everything that goes with other rivers where they say go get your bait, catch it fresh. Go out there. It's going to be your best bait. In the Potomac River, total opposite. You don't need to go out there with your fresh bait. First of all the bait
ain't gangster blues.
Nobody catches their bait. We all buy our bait or bring our bait from the store. It's totally different up here on the Potomac.
What do you guys mainly use for bait besides the store-bought stuff?
I use eel is what I use in the spring, and
I'm not going to let that happen, Tim.
But that's store bought though, the eel. But it's still in the Potomac River, American eel. That's a number.
And they ain't cheap either, right? And eel costs you what? No. I think Chucky was saying $10 to $14, something like that.
Right now, I think they're $20. I paid $14.99. Some people paid $20 for their boat. I think up in Virginia they paid $20 a pound. So it's expensive.
That's a pound.
That's a pound.
The bait shop here, we can get the whole eel for $5.50.
But your eel not like our eel.
No, I'm talking
if I was Brian, I would have a gill net on my boat, and I'll be out there gill netting because you can get gizzard shad down when Brian goes.
No,
fishing
don't
out.
worry
But
about it. I got.
you
what I
got to
got.
use. You
I
have
got
to
what I
use
got.
the
Don't worry
gill
about me.
net on the
Don't worry
Virginia
about me.
side.
Don't worry about me.
Vonnie,
what
I'm in northern
I had a
Illinois. I'm in
gill
McHenry.
about
I'm
the
in
size of
McHenry
your
County,
big
Illinois.
fish.
If you ever want to look that up.
Yeah, because in Virginia you can use a gill net in tidal waters.
Yeah.
You
And
guys want to
Mary-
hear something about that gill net that don't go over too good on YouTube? I noticed that when you were pulling in that gill net stand, people were logging off right away. I'm not, I have no problem with people doing it as long as it's legal, but that's one of them things that people don't really either like it or they don't. A lot of the diehard ones really don't. And I saw like 15 people drop out during that. I was like, oh,
Really?
yeah. And Lyle brought that to my attention too. He says, yeah, the tournament guys, they don't care for the gill netters. But I mean, it's legal up there. You guys have the shad to support that method. Why
Yeah.
not?
I
got no problem with it.
on the James River. Using the gill net is your number one friend. You're gonna.
Well,
you throw it
that's
out
right.
there.
Here's the deal. Thing with gill nets is if you use it properly, you're only supposed to put it out. You got to stay within sight of it. You put it out for a short period of time, and so even if the other fish get caught in it, you take them out, you release them, they're good to go. It's when the gill nets get left out there.
Absolutely. And that's why they don't like it. Guys don't like it when they're bringing in trout lines or gill nets or any of that stuff, or they see bank lines up there. I know up here, if anybody sees trout lines or bank lines, they get cut. Jugs, they get cut and they get messed up all the time. There's a constant battle I know out here about all of that stuff. So it happens. There's even somebody in chat here without mentioning names says that gill nets suck. They see what I mean? People are pretty they get pretty upset when they see them, and it's just shows how polarizing a sport that people really love can get, and it's good. There's room for everybody in it. I have problem with commercial fishermen taking fish for pay lakes, but people are going to eat catfish. Guys got to make a living. If they're selling it for food, I think through regulations we can kind of all live together, with size limits and stuff like that. X amount of fish over whatever weight they take, nothing to pay lakes for refishing, because that's a bad deal when they start poisoning those fish just to get them to bite. I just think that's, I don't know, it pulls at your emotions, but if you think about it, it just isn't fair. You know what I mean? To any living creature to do something like that. And I'm not a tree hugger or nothing, but I'm not a.
I mean, when it comes to catching bait, I'm a fan of gill nets. Gill nets make it very easy.
Well, you know how many times I've caught like a big ass walleye, pardon my French, a big walleye in a cast net. I'll catch them all the time.
We speak French. You okay?
And smallmouth too. I'll get the Fox River is like a trophy smallmouth river for this part of the country. They're everywhere, and I've gotten I fish for them every now and then. I don't go after them too often, but I'm still looking for my 20-incher, and I got a 23 in a gill net. That broke my heart. I was like, holy smoke. Not in a gill net, I mean in a cast net. I would have rather caught it, hook and line, and I was using the cast net for bait, but it just tells you that they're in there. And that happens with cast nets too. And people get upset about that when they see that. I mean, Stan, you had a little flathead in yours, didn't you?
Was there a flathead there? Yeah, there was.
There was a small flathead in there.
But it doesn't get, we only had the gill net out there for a short period of time.
Yeah, this has.
We put that.
What you gonna do with that dead eel? That eel is dead.
We took it out of the net, released it right back in. It swam right off. Yep. No damage. No, But if the nets are left out there, and they get twisted up, and then they can't breathe, and that they end up. That's why it's important to just put it out for bait.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see how effective that is. Like that net, we didn't have it out there but a half hour. Maybe, I don't even know if it was that long, because we were setting it out when I first came on, and we ran it like right after that. And
some people don't like it; they don't understand it, but that's part of fishing.
Yeah, as long as you do it properly and you treat it, and you got to get the net. Like the gill nets have to be
thousands and thousands of fish.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it for bait. Anything else is gone back in the water. People get gar and
it's I know
stuff like that.
There's a percentage of fish that you catch and release that don't make it. I don't care what anybody says. They've done studies and they've proved it. That is proof it, and it's a price that we're willing to pay. And I think until the catfish community gets on board or doesn't with using, gill nets for bait or not, that may never happen. But it is what it is. As long as people stay within the word of the regulations or stay in line with that, I really can't have a problem. Do I? I don't think so. I don't do it here. I don't see it here. So I don't feel I have enough exposure to know or talk enough about it. I'm just talking pretty much about the controversy that's there and the results that I saw during the 1-versus-1 that kind of opened my eyes to it. So
yeah, because I thought
I just want to speak on because Jeff says that you have to understand that some areas gill nets have destroyed cast netting. Now you have to, like the James River and the Chickahominy River, gill nets are used very often. It's a tournament, spot. There's a lot of tournament catfishing on that river. There's also a lot of bass fishing and other species of fishing tournament on that river as well. And the gill nets do not, they don't affect any population. They don't affect the catfish. You still got the big monster, blues on the James River, and you still have, the tournament, bass fish and other fish like that. As long as you're using them right, like Stan said, where you're using them and you're in reach of them, and then you check them periodically and release anything that's not supposed to be caught in there, it'll be fine. Now, if you have people abusing it, of course, that's where you're gonna have a problem.
I literally
Right.
on my live, I went past on and I said, "Hey," but I did it too late because I realized what it was, and I was like, "Hey, y'all see these nets?" And I knew what they were because it was bobbers sitting up in the water, and I'm like, "Oh, they got."
see, they shouldn't have been left there. That's the thing.
Outside
Right.
of the channel, the right side out of the little joint where the water goes down shallow and the current slows down. But when they come out, they had it right there. They had 3 big bobbers, so I know they had 3 big nets. But then I started marking big fish, and the big fish was probably there because all that bait was sitting there in that net. And I said, "You know what? We're gonna stop right here." That's where I got that big fish from. But I bet you, if I wouldn't have caught that big fish and I would have moved on, that big fish would have got caught in that net. They would have took that fish, and it would have been in a pay or butchered up for meat. Because that net was longer than my boat. I only got a 17-foot boat, so they ain't saying much. But it was
we had a problem with we had a problem with some crew coming out here on the Fox. They were fishing south of 90 for a while, which was a mistake on their part. South of I-90 here on the Fox River, you get into some shadier parts of town. I know a lot of guys that live there. A lot of good friends of mine live there. And there was a crew coming out here in a white van, putting gill nets out there, catching everything and anything fish, and packing them into coolers, taking them into the city, into Chicago, and selling them. They were doing this last year, and a couple of my boys and their crew found out about this stuff, and they're all the guys that fish out there, and they got some pretty colorful pasts. They took care of the situation themselves before the DNR even got to go in there. I mean, there was shots fired and stuff. It was quite the summer last year. It was pretty interesting to do that, but they were doing it illegal. They should have been processed by the system, but they're not always there. I think that's the problem. There's always going to be someone who wants to get something over on the system, the rules and regulations, which is unfortunate, but it always happens. All we can do as anglers is try to bring attention to this stuff and educate people on the right way to do things and what those regulations are. I don't advocate taking stuff like that into your own hands like they do, but I'm not going to say that I'm upset that they did. I heard that they once that went down, they actually did get the police to stop that van, and they had 8 Yeti coolers in the back of it filled from top to bottom with fish. We're talking smallmouth, walleye, flathead, channel cats, the whole deal. They had them loaded up with fish. So that was kind of bad. But I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to take a guess here. Jeff, are you on the Ohio River?
No, he's I know where he's at. He's Tennessee River. He fishes with Big Mike.
Yeah, they have a lot of commercial fishing out that way, I believe, and those guys are constantly going head to head. They really don't care for one another. So those
now,
feelings run deep.
I get it. That's
there's
commercial fishing. I get it. Where they, that's what it. But I appreciate you bringing that up because most people, like you said, they just left. Most people they've never seen a gill net before, so they're interested in seeing it. Hey, what is?
I gotta let Coco out. I'll be right back. She's ringing the bell at the back door. All right, hold on.
All right.
So a lot of people are interested in seeing how that works, and it's kind of cool. But the ones that are against it, they'll just leave. So, like Mark said, rather than saying something, they'll just jet and go someplace else. So I'm glad that he brought that up because the opinion of the people that I talked to, they thought it was interesting. It was cool seeing it, but if you're losing other people because of it, that's not something I would do.
I mean, it depends on what you're using it for. If you're using it to catch catfish, obviously you're doing something wrong. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. It's to catch bait fish, and on the James River or on the Potomac River on the Virginia side, you're using it to catch gizzard shad, or bait so that you can go out there and catch catfish. So when you're talking about catching gizzard shad, that's just bait. That ain't gonna harm or do nothing to nobody. So just depends what you're using it for.
Good luck out there, Sean. Hope you catch them all.
There you go.
Jeremy, I'm sorry.
Jeremy,
Coming from where I fish at, I would love to be able to even use a cast net, let alone a gill net, to catch some bait. You can't use a cast net or a gill net. All you can do is catch them on hook and reel. Catch your bait.
Yeah, and for like gizzard shad, they ain't catching them on
Yeah, you can't catch gizzard shad on hook and reel.
So could you just catch them off camera with the gill net and then nobody's upset?
Oh yeah, that's what we normally do, and that's what most people do. But when you're doing lives, and you got to be on by a certain time. If you haven't caught bait yet, you do it on a live. And like I said, the majority of people, they don't. You only get to use it in certain spots because James is a tidal water, and salt water you're allowed to use nets like that unless you're a commercial fisherman. Most. They think it's cool because they've never seen it before, so it's interesting, something new to see. But people that do have other, like the Ohio River has really been fished out a lot with commercial fishermen using gill nets. So the people that are really turned off by it, like Mark was just saying, rather than saying anything, they just leave. So now you're losing people. So
you can't please all. You guys know that you can't please all the people all the time. It's hard to do. I mean, what we do is
impossible.
I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but what we do is what we do in fishing. It is part of the game. I mean, even Creel, who got that little bird today, that probably hurt some feelings to somebody up there in the chat. They were out there fishing for slicka, also known as skipjack. That probably upset some people, or even him carving up that Asian carp. That's nothing to him, but if somebody's in chat, maybe a kid or something that doesn't understand that whole circle of life, it definitely has an impression on some people more than others.
It's part
that's part. Yeah, man. If you're watching fishing, it's going to happen. Like,
especially when,
much as we love it, you got to admit it's technically a blood sport, right? It's no different.
Yeah, right.
Creel had that bird, and half a chat was going, "That's bait."
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And like we have a big UK. We have a big UK following. In UK, what do? They cherish and keep their carp and stuff. But over here, carp is a great bait, regardless of whatever it is, And I've seen people use mirror carp as bait. Mirror carp is supposed to be like, the holy grail of carp. Yep. You're not ever supposed to. It may make some people mad.
We'll catch them here from time to time. If we got, let's say, a bait rod out with just a worm on a jig head or something, we'll get a mirror once in a while. And it's nothing to see a guy pitch that thing like 10 feet back in the water like it's nothing. And then you see, guys in a different, country where they're babying these things, they're cradling them in the
look what they
stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Would they have the mat for the carp? They have the mat, and they'll land it on They won't lay it on anything else. The mat's got to be wet, and like Haz was saying, they just have such great respect for the carp. A lot of old timers would go specifically to catch carp for their garden, and my uncle used to do that.
Well, we got some people from England in chat here. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but technically, all the fish in England belong to the Queen, or they belong to the government, where all the animals and wildlife here in the United States belong to the people.
Yeah.
That's the difference. There's a big reason why there isn't as many carp as we have here, because they've been fished out, or because I don't know. They would probably be able to answer that question. That's something that I kind of wondered about. My grandfather was a big carp fisherman who taught me how to fish, but he came over from there, and that's what he brought with him. And it was nothing for him to bring carp home and as retirement plan.
Well, in some countries, cows are dogs and dogs are cows.
Yep.
Go figure.
I'm sorry.
You can't. It's like you said. You can't please everybody. Brian